Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Corn Belt. I'm Andrew Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. We've got another late week storm system to talk about that could drop anywhere from a quarter to a half inch or more of precipitation across a corridor of the Central Plains into the mid-Mississippi Valley. And then as we take a look at the probability of 3 inches or more of snow accumulating through Monday, we have to talk about another corridor of potentially accumulating snow across parts of Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Now, as we take a look at the satellite picture here, the Midwest focused satellite picture, you can see the flow around that area of high pressure situated over the Midwest right now. Beautiful clear skies as we get the day started here across Minneapolis, Des Moines, Kansas City, Omaha, Chicago area, central Illinois, getting it on those sunny skies as well. As we flip it over, take a look at the radar picture. Again, quiet across a big chunk of the Corn Belt. Just about everyone dry today, but maybe some snow flurries falling in parts of the eastern Corn Belt, especially coming off the lake here in parts of Ohio, and then some flurries possible down here across parts of the Mid-South. Now, those flurries coming on that clockwise flow around that area of high pressure, which again has got an area of very cold temperatures rooted across parts of the Midwest, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, tapping into some of the coldest air across the lower 48 right now this morning, with temperatures below zero in some instances. Now, as we take a look at the surface map, just going day by day, kind of timing things out again, here's that area of high pressure dominating things for the day on Tuesday. So a lot of folks seeing those sunny skies, cooler conditions for the day on Tuesday. That area of high pressure pivots off to the east during the day on Wednesday, and that's going to start bringing moisture northward from the Gulf Coast, starting to return that flow from the south. That'll also work to kind of erode that core of bitterly cold temperatures across the Midwest. And from the west, we're going to watch our next disturbance come swinging in, kind of from the north and from the west here. We'll look at the jet stream flow here in just a couple of slides, but that's going to get the precipitation underway across parts of the Central Plains into the upper mid-Mississippi Valley, with snow possible from Wisconsin into Minnesota, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, parts of Nebraska as we get into the day on Wednesday. Wintry mix as you head south from there. Thursday morning, snow starts to spread east. Central Illinois getting in on some of that snow. Northern Michigan tapping into some of the snow during the day on Thursday as well. Getting into Friday, this is when the area of low pressure begins to intensify, continuing to draw warm air northward, and that could change some of that precipitation over to rain across central Illinois. So maybe some snow on Thursday across central Illinois, northern Indiana, changing over to some rain during the day on Friday. And then as the storm pulls away, maybe changing back over to snow across some of these regions as we get into the early morning hours on Saturday. But by Sunday, the storm system pulls away. Precipitation comes to an end across the eastern Corn Belt. Ohio, maybe a light sprinkle or light snow flurry during the morning hours on Sunday, but by and large, precipitation coming to an end. So now we can get a little bit more complicated, diving in a little bit more with the jet stream. Let's go ahead and bring it back to early on Tuesday morning. Rather disorganized, rather chaotic look to the jet stream right now. It's kind of difficult to pick out the background state or the pattern. Now, as we head into the day on Wednesday, getting into Wednesday night and early Thursday, you'll start to see this jet streak coming in from the northern plains, from the northern Rockies right here. Another little wave right here with a little bit more of a curvature to it. Let's take the drawings off, take it forward a little bit, and we'll start to see our trough begin to organize right here as these waves begin to sort of merge across the mid-Mississippi Valley here. That upper level low now taking on more of a trough look, but a bit of an odd look to it as this upper level low actually closes off as we head into Friday. And what I mean by that is, if we take it out just a little bit, you see how we're fully closed here, that tight circulation visible, instead of a more open wave here with those strong jet stream winds coming in with that U shape. And so that's going to help with the slow movement of the storm system, kind of keeping it parked over the same region. That's what could lead to maybe an overachieving of some of the snow totals here across parts of Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois here, as this thing just kind of sits still and dumps over the region from Thursday night into early on Saturday. So let's take a look at the Vorticity Map, looking at some of the players that come together here. It's a bit of an uncertain, low confidence forecast. High confidence the storm system exists, but low confidence in where exactly the heaviest snow totals are going to be, because we've got several moving parts here. As we kind of take it into Thursday morning, we can pick out 3 different waves. We look at the vorticity plot here. Again, the color shaded areas, those are areas of spin within the atmosphere. Those help us diagnose where low pressure is going to form at the surface, cloud cover and precipitation, in general, the active and interesting weather. So we can find one little wave here across the southern plains, another little piece of this across the central plains parts of Kansas, and another little wave here across the U.S.-Canada border coming out of southern Saskatchewan. As we take the drawings off, then taking it into the next 24 to 48 hours, We see this kind of evolving into one major wave across the Ohio River Valley by here midnight Saturday, getting into the day on Saturday, as it slowly just lumbers along, broken off from the upper level flow. So what is the surface response then? Well, if we take it back to Tuesday, today we've got a very dry, very cold air mass in place across the region, high pressure parked across the middle of the country. So again, a very cold and very dry air mass. But it's quick. On the backside, that area of high pressure moves off to the east over the next 24 hours. Return flow now coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, starting to bring that moisture northward into the central plains, into the Midwest. And then again, what makes this have the potential for some high snow totals across parts of Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois is the slow movement. We're heading into the day on Friday now, watching that moisture wrapping around the area of low pressure as it's just kind of slowly moving through. And that moisture is just going to be wrung out across this region here, parts of Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, maybe southern Wisconsin as well. So the precipitation forecast in the short term from the high-resolution NAM, you can see this storm system beginning to emerge. That first wave of precipitation making its way in. This model freezes then at noon on Thursday. So let's take it back, watching this emerge here. Heading through the day on Tuesday, quiet for just about everyone. Maybe some light rain beginning in western and central Kansas as we get into the evening. During the overnight, heading into Tuesday night, watching up the potential for a wintry mix, maybe some snow falling here across parts of Nebraska and Iowa, with that snow extending off to the south into parts of Kansas and Oklahoma. Let's take it to sunrise on Wednesday morning now. So as we wake up on Wednesday, tomorrow morning, snow falling in parts of central and eastern Kansas into the Omaha area. Des Moines maybe getting some light snow, a light wintry mix early on Wednesday morning. Taking it into noon on Wednesday, Kansas City, Des Moines now picking up on that snow, perhaps Minneapolis, St. Paul area getting in on some of that snow as well. And then by the time we get to Wednesday night, let's take it to midnight on Wednesday night, starting to see this thing spreading into parts of central Illinois. So by the time we get to Thursday morning, waking up perhaps to some light snow or light freezing rain, light sleet across parts of central and southern Illinois on Thursday morning, and then by noon on Thursday again, watching that snow overspreading a big chunk of the mid and upper Mississippi Valley here from parts of Illinois into Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Let's take it a little bit further, looking at the high-resolution, the long-range European model. Again, high pressure parked over the region right now, quiet as we get the day started on Tuesday. That area of high pressure begins to pivot off to the east as we head into Wednesday and Thursday, starting to bring precipitation into the area. We're on Thursday evening right now, picking up where we left off with the high-resolution NAM model, taking it into Thursday night and now Friday morning. This is when we could start to draw some of that warm air around the area of low pressure into parts of central Illinois, perhaps changing things over to a wintry mix or some light rain, with rain likely across Indiana and Ohio during the day on Friday. This is when some of the heaviest snow could fall as well across this corridor here, parts of central Illinois, northern Missouri, Iowa, into southern Wisconsin. That's the corridor I think has the potential to overachieve with this event, especially as we head into Friday and Saturday. Our temperatures here as we head through the next couple of days, going for a bit of a ride. Let's go ahead. I want to talk about the snow totals first. I have my slides out of order there with the last two. Looking at the probability of 3 inches or more of snow accumulating with this winter storm, or with the weekend storm system, so taking it through Monday. And again, where you see the red shading, that's where we're at that 90 to 100% threshold, definitely getting in the 90s across parts of Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois. On the left, we have the European model. Sorry, I should point that out. European model on the left, GFS, the American model, on the right. The difference we see here, the GFS a little bit further north with that snow total here, kind of a more northward shift here, central Illinois kind of left out there. Where do I think has the best chance to overachieve? Again, plenty of time to go with this forecast, but if I'm giving you my forecaster's gut, right now it's parts of northern Missouri, getting into eastern Iowa, northern and possibly central Illinois. Let me highlight it over here as well. That's the corridor that I think could overachieve with this storm system here. And I'm not going to go into amounts right now, but this is where I think that maybe the storm system stalls out and begins to kind of dump on that region as it pivots through, especially Friday into early Saturday. So we'll watch this closely, but my gut says right now, parts of Missouri, parts of northern Missouri, parts of eastern and central Iowa, and then parts of northern and western Illinois, the potential to see some more significant snow accumulation with this storm system. Now let's jump back. Let's take a look at the temperature anomalies. I did want to talk about it, but maybe not before we finish talking about the potential for some snow here. Again, waking up on Tuesday morning, high pressure across the region. This is where the core of that coldest air is right now. Temperatures 20 to 25 degrees cooler than average across that region. The good news is that is quickly erased, especially as that area of high pressure slides off to the east. We start drawing warm air northward and advance the next storm system. The other round of good news, this storm system that comes through on the weekend, not going to be pulling a whole lot of bitterly cold air out of the Canadian prairies because it's not there to be found. We've got an unseasonably warm air mass across the prairie, so coming in on the backside of that storm system, not talking about a big wave of extreme cold air. Now, we will drop a little bit, but what I didn't show you on the long-range model is as we get into mid to late next week, got another big trough swinging in out of the Intermountain West, so warm air being drawn northward already by the time we get to early next week in advance of that next storm system that we'll have to talk about, but we'll wait to talk about until we get to the end of the week. First dealing with the late week storm system this week. Let's close it out then. Let's talk about temperatures for the next few days, looking at our high temperatures first for the day today, mid-20s, where that cold air is parked here across parts of the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes with return flow on the backside already starting to warm things back up. Looking at those highs then for the day on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And again, you see a little cold air coming in on the backside here, but not very much, and it gets kind of choked off already by the time we get to the weekend, with that cold air really losing the battle with the warmer air mass. Overnight lows for the next couple of days. We'll bring it back here to tomorrow morning, waking up to those temperatures in the teens. Look at the difference. Tuesday morning versus Wednesday morning, quickly getting rid of that bitterly cold air mass, returning it to more seasonally appropriate or slightly warmer than average conditions as we get into Thursday morning, Friday morning, and then Saturday morning. Now, as always, Eric Snodgrass will take an in-depth look at the long-range forecast across the United States with our Wednesday morning long-range forecast. Thursday morning, we'll have another look at the next 1 to 2 weeks, touching again on the late week storm system, and then I'll be back once again on Friday. We'll be in the midst of things, but we'll give one final update on the late week winter storm.